Welcome to the MFR Coaches podcast, where we talk about how you can create a six-figure MFR practice. I'm your host, Heather Hommel. Not only have I been practicing MFR for 11 years, I'm also a life and business coach, especially for MFR therapists. My goal is for you to understand how to get fully booked, how to talk to your clients, and how to make sure they understand what's possible for them with MFR treatment. I'm here to help you stop under-earning, overworking, and burning out. I'll lend support so you can create the MFR practice you've always wanted. Learn how you can do it too, even if you live in a tiny town, and even if you're just starting out, and even if you've ran your practice for years. Let's go. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the MFR Coaches podcast. Today, I thought I would fill you in on what I've been up to, give you a little update on what's happening with me. I took all of July off to do some personal things and to work inside my business. And when this episode airs, I'll be dropping my oldest son, Joey, off at college in Bozeman, Montana. So, maybe think some nice thoughts about me. I'm likely sobbing in real life right now. So let's get into it. What have I been up to? I have done a shit ton of traveling this summer. I have been all over. So I went to San Antonio in June and got to see a few of my clients while I was there. I also got to have 4 hours of treatment at Fire Rainbow Myofascial Release with Sarah Martin, which was absolutely amazing. And I got to take 3 of my clients out for dinner, Sarah, Donna, and Cheryl. Hello. I also met with my wealth coach, Gina Knox, for a VIP day and figured out so much information and did so much planning for the future. I've never had so much money coaching as I have in the last 6 months. I think I joined her first program in February and then joined her mastermind in April. And it has made a world of difference in just my ability to think about money and have money and create money. It's been very, very helpful. I can't say enough about her programs. In July, I went to New York City and I met with my brand new coach and mastermind sisters who I will be working with for the next 12 months. And we spent a week together learning how to have 6-figure launches and improve upon our group coaching programs and how to improve our businesses, basically. This was a really fun experience for me. And I was actually able to use my coach's teaching using her materials from when I got access to her program back in April. I was able to use that information to tweak how I was selling my programs. I actually ended up creating 2 new programs and selling those for the very first time in June. And I ended up having a multiple 6-figure launch before I even officially started this launching mastermind program. So that's pretty excited. I'm bringing this up because I know a lot of you joined my 12-month program and my mastermind ahead of them officially started. And I'm just curious about the results that you've already had. Now, I know the mastermind doesn't even start until October. And those of you that are already in the 12-month program, which by the way has rolling enrollment. So if you're not in, you can get in anytime. I just want to hear about your results and how are things going? What were you able to create ahead of time that gave you possibly your return on investment before you ever even started? So feel free to drop me a line, send me a direct message on Instagram or Facebook, or just send me an email, Heather at the MFR Coach. Let me know. How did it go? How did you use that program ahead of time to get results before we ever started? I think it's really fun to determine what your return on investment is going to be before you ever buy a coaching program or before you ever buy anything. What is the return on investment and how do you get it before you ever even start, or like within 30 days of joining or 90 days of joining? Like, how do you do that? What do you need to do? I think a lot can be accomplished in a short amount of time if you know where to direct your time and energy and you know what results you want to have. And the same goes for when you're selling MFR to your clients. So just FYI, when they know what results are possible because you've communicated those results to them, they understand more what's possible for them. So it makes it much easier for you to sell MFR. While I was in New York, I also enjoyed pizza, of course, and long discussions with the women I had never met before who are all growing towards $1 million businesses. It's so fun to be in a room with people with different businesses than me, but with similar goals. I'm always only the only MFR coach in the room that I go into, which is fine by me. There can only really be one of me. But I also took the time to educate everyone there on MFR and to direct them to the directory so they could get treatment or help someone that they know to get treatment. When I introduce myself as the MFR coach and tell people what I do, helping John Barnes trained MFR therapists to never under earn or burn out by creating the foundation for a 6-figure business, people are immediately interested in what is MFR, right? And I tell them, I don't hesitate, even if I feel like it will be hard to explain it, or maybe I'm thinking they aren't really that interested. I have just decided to pretend or to believe that everybody wants to know what it is that I do and how they can relate to what I'm saying and what I'm offering. And this thought really helps me. It helps me to explain things in a slower and more concise way and to hook people up with the resources that I have available to share, like the directory, or by recommending someone that I've coached before who happens to live near them. It's really a very small world out there, and we are all connected like by 1 degree of separation or 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon if you grew up in my generation. Yes, I am a nerd. We also took a yacht tour of the Hudson River, and I saw the Statue of Liberty. I got a little bit of seasickness, and it also triggered some of my vertigo that I was dealing with back in January, but most of that has passed now, and I'm still glad that I went and did this. We also took a really wild limousine tour, like a bus limousine tour of New York City, all the way down to Times Square, and there was a lot of dancing, and there were 2 poles in that bus, and I'm just going to leave it at that, but we had a great time. If you enjoy this podcast, please take a minute to rate and review it. When you take the time to rate and review the podcast, it helps other people to find it and enjoy it too. And the more MFR therapists out there using this as a resource to start or tweak their business, the better the world gets. So take the time, rate and review the podcast. Let me know how it's going. How's it helping you? Thank you so much for your time. Now back to the episode. I spent a lot of time out of my comfort zone. I live in a 1 stoplight town, so traveling is always a bit of a challenge to my nervous system. I love, though, that I still travel, even when I feel discomfort in it. And this helps me to grow and expand my comfort zone. I also learned while I was at that mastermind where I was still keeping myself small as it relates to being the MFR coach and meeting people and telling them that I can help them. And in one of those ways, it was my coach saying to me, where are your people? Where are they outside of being contacted on social media or through email? And I'm like, oh, well, they're all at MFR seminars. And she really encouraged me to decide to go to more seminars. People tell them I can help them and make offers to help. So I will be doing that. And I'm going to talk about that a little more later on. After New York City, I flew directly to St. Louis for a family wedding. And I just want to take a minute here to acknowledge something else and someone else who is important to me, who has since passed away. In June, my father-in-law's fiance was diagnosed with cancer. And we were able to visit her on Father's Day, but she passed away the next weekend. It was very sudden. Carol McGuire was a huge supporter in my life. And even though I only knew her for the past 3 years, she was one of those people who was like my biggest cheerleader. She celebrated virtually every milestone I've ever hit in my business, and unfortunately wasn't alive to celebrate the biggest one I ever had, which was my launch in June. She always treated my kids like they had been her grandkids since their births. And she treated my father-in-law like the love of her life. And he treated her the same way. It was an honor to witness their love and their relationship grow, and just an honor to witness the whole thing. My mother-in-law passed away 7 years ago, and to be able to watch my father-in-law find love again and have that support in his life was everything. I'm glad we got to be there with him. It's so hard to watch the people that you love hurting. It was an honor to show up all the same. So we got to spend time at that wedding in St. Louis with my father-in-law. It was only a couple of days after Carol's funeral. So I know it was a hard time for him, but I'm glad we were all able to be there together. From St. Louis, my son Joey and Theron and I flew directly to Bozeman, Montana, where we met my mom, and we took Joey to his 3-day college orientation. Theron didn't know that he'd be saying goodbye to his brother and his best friend for those 3 days, and that he'd be stuck with me and his grandmother but we made the best of it. And I think it helped him to prepare for the larger, longer separation that is coming and that will be happening while you're listening to this episode. We spent a lot of time on the campus at Montana State and enjoyed the dining hall frequently. They have an award-winning dining hall, Miller Hall, and it was really something. They had prime rib for dinner at college. Prime rib, brisket. They had a Mongolian grill there where they would basically, you'd pick all your ingredients and they would cook it right there in front of you. It was very intense. I had a croissant that was the size of my face at one point. I mean, it was just really crazy. I don't know if they were just showing off because parents were on campus or if this is really how the meals work all of the time, but it was very incredible. And I was not sorry to experience it. I also have a giant salad bar and I just love salad bars. So it was so good. We had a lot of fun in Bozeman. The downtown is really cute and you can basically walk everywhere in no time at all, including from downtown to the campus. So that was really great. The weather was nice too. It was a great break from the high temps and humidity that were everywhere else in the country that I have previously been visiting. And Texas was so hot and so was New York. So I was glad to have a little bit of a break. So now back in Minnesota for a couple of weeks, I'm reflecting on the 50 people who have joined my new programs. I'm looking forward to the coaching and the business growth, not only for myself, but really for all of you all that are part of these programs. I've hired and implemented more tech and more people than I ever thought was possible to help bring ease to the onboarding process within my business and for my students who go throughout my coaching programs. We are now going to be able to track more data. So I'll be able to share factual data and receipts about the success measures that we have within my programs. I want to be able to track more than just dollars made. While I think that that's a really good number to show like the success of people, I also want to track like how easy businesses are feeling, how long it takes on average for people to get their foundation set and in place and to start earning their first dollars and working towards getting fully booked. I also want to track like how many hours are people spending inside their businesses, things like that. We've also created some new fun bonuses that no one knows about, but I'm announcing here. So we now have a bonus for people who reach 10K months while you're in the 12-month program. If you reach a 10K month, you're going to be automatically enrolled in the 10K club, which will give members a bonus coaching call each month, specifically for those that reach that milestone and help you with all of the drama that comes with the more money that you make. A lot of people make the mistake in thinking like, oh, if I just make more money, I'm going to solve a lot of my problems, or a lot of my problems are going to go away. And it actually turns out like it amplifies a lot of problems. And so I want to always be there to wrap around support when it comes to the next level problems and the problems that are created when you actually do your business on purpose and you make a lot of money. So it's not always rainbows and butterflies, even when you are making more money. And I want to make sure that there's proper and enough support there as people start to go through that more and more often. So I mentioned before that while this episode is airing, I'll be dropping my son Joey off at college and then coming home without him. And honestly, the thought of this brings just instant hot tears to my eyes and my stomach drops out. I am so proud and excited and sad all at the same time. Saying goodbye to the life as we know it is so weird. I am looking forward to all of the changes while also grieving what was and won't ever really be the same again. And that's having all three of my kids at home with me and, just doing life where I see my kids every day. Hey, listener, I have great news. If you've been listening for a while, you've heard about previous coaching containers. But have you heard that you can join my brand new 12-month coaching program right now? That's right. You can join right now. You'll build your MFR business foundations and have everything you need to create your six-figure MFR business without burning out, and you'll never under-earn again. Take your skills as a John Barnes trained myofascial release therapist and put them to work in your very own business. You'll get 12 months of coaching in this foundational program, which includes instant course access, live weekly coaching calls on Tuesdays, a private Facebook group for support any time of day. Join now. There's absolutely no reason to wait, and I'd love to be your coach. Go to www.themfrcoach.com/coaching right now to enroll. See you there. I'm figuring out the answers to how do I parent with only 2 children at home. And I'm not really sure how it will be. And I know that we'll get through it. And I likely just have to be in it and be with the experience fully to understand and to survive it. I've got to go through it as the only way out. And I'm pretty sure John says something like that. Only way out is through. So, plus I have trips scheduled. So I'll be seeing him again in October for Parents Weekend. And I feel so fortunate and badass, really, that we can do that. When I was growing up, I don't think my parents had the means or even the ideas to come and visit me at college, even though I was just a driving distance away. So I'm excited that we're the kind of parents that will go to him and make the effort and kind of ease into this separation from my baby 1 month at a time. And by baby, I mean my grown 18-year-old adult child. I have to keep that in perspective. So when I get back from Montana, I have no end in sight to all of these travel plans. So it might seem like I've been traveling a lot over the summer, and I have, in fact, and there's no end in sight for that. So when I get back from Montana, I'll be headed to Dallas for another mastermind. This one is through the Life Coach School, which is my coaching school. It's going to be so fun to be there. And one of my clients and students, and also now a certified life coach, Sarah Martin, will be there too. So it'll be so fun to see her in person again. And also, it's just been really fun to watch her go through the process of getting certified. I'm really proud of her and excited for her. After Dallas, I'll be headed to Kansas City for an MFR seminar, and then to Boston for a week's vacation with my friend Nicole. I'm also planning to be in Rochester, Minnesota at Fascial Pelvis, and then in Nashville for Fascial Cranium, and then to Delaware for Healing Seminar in December. I've got the travel bug, and I guess I cannot be contained. I'm looking forward to meeting lots and lots of MFR people at these seminars. If you see me there, please say hi. Tell me about your business. I genuinely want to know. I think this sums up where I've been all summer and where I'm going this fall. I just want to remind all of y'all that life is 50-50, and so is business. And sometimes it might be 60-40 or 20-80. And all of that is okay and normal. The point is, life is full, and I'm here for all of it, the good and the not so good, the fun times and the heartache. And I appreciate both ends of that spectrum. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you, and I'll be back next week with another episode. Bye. Thanks for joining me today. My mission is to help every MFR therapist become a part of the movement where no MFR therapists ever under-earn or burn out. Join my 12-month coaching program. You'll spend the first 90 days setting up your foundation to create your 6-figure business. Then you'll go to work and uncover exactly what's holding you back from the business that you want and desire. Get support while you raise your rates, set your policies, and learn how to talk about MFR and how to sell MFR in service of your clients. Learn exactly how you can do it too, even if you live in a tiny town and even if you've had your business for years. This program is open to all MFR therapists who want to create what is possible when you stop playing small and start showing up in your full power as the John Barnes trained MFR therapist you are. Put your magic to work in the world and help more people get out of pain and back to active lifestyles. I'll help you do it. Go to www.themfrcoach.com/coaching and sign up right now.